What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris
Mo.
podcast. This is a special episode. We're doing this in 2024. We wanted to, bring in a new thing, new content where we interview people, a separate segment from our live streams and our, regular podcast stuff that y'all see us do. We're going to start interviewing people. And today we're kicking it off with a special interview with an author, publisher, motivational speaker, creative soul. She has a book coming out soon called Tears of a Shattered Heart. Creative Soul, how you doing?
I am blessed. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. Can't complain. So, before we get into the book, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I am 42 years old, and I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm a mother of one amazing son.
Okay, that's what's up.
So I overheard that you said you're a public speaker, motivational speaker. What made you get into that realm?
From the trauma that I went through as a child and life experiences, I wanted to be able to be a voice to help other people get through what they're going through and to let them know that they're not alone and they're not the only ones that have been through it or will go through it. And some of the things that I experienced, I wished at some moments that I had somebody that was there to say, girlfriend, I went through this. You're going to get through this. God got you. Just keep praying. And granted, I did have some close friends, but sometimes it makes it a little bit more understanding or a little bit easier when you have someone that actually experienced it. Because we can all talk about different things and be there to help someone, but unless you truly experience that thing, it's a little bit different. And so because of the things that I've experienced, if I can touch one person's heart, help them from not jumping off the cliff and giving up on life because of what they've gone through, that's all I want to do, is just to help others through my experience.
All right, now, where did you come up with the name Creative Soul? Where did that come from?
So I've always been creative. I've always had this thing where I wanted to have my hands in so many different pots. So I do hair, and I've been doing it since I was a young kid. God bless my hands to be able to do hair, but to also be able to do event planning. So I would do like baby showers, weddings, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for names, just thinking about what name would be best for me. And I was like, Creative Soul. That's the one.
Okay.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Um, so the book kind of deals with generational cycles. What what does that mean? Like, what does the generational cycles mean? Like, what does that entail?
So generational cycles are things that happen in your family that trickle down. So for an example, maybe there's a grandmother that had her child very young.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter grows up, but then her daughter starts having children very young. Now the granddaughter starts doing the same thing. Or it could be one person drank alcohol and then somebody else start drinking alcohol, and it trickles down from the older generation to the younger generation. And somebody has to break that curse or that cycle.
All
Okay.
right. And your book also deals with trauma from childhood to adulthood. So, what are some traumas that you had to deal with, and what is trauma to you also?
So trauma is hurt and pain that you suffer. And a lot of times people suffer in silence, as I did, or I have. I've dealt with mentally, emotional, and verbal abuse, which is trauma,
Mm.
for years. And that's why it's very important to create boundaries and to stick to them.
Yeah, I know with certain traumas, there are certain resources that people may seek or try to find for escape. What are some of those resources that would help people try to escape from trauma or try to at least, I guess, help it in any kind of way?
And for children, if if they're in school, they have a counselor at the school. They have counselors that will, talk to the students, bring them in the office, somebody that they can actually trust. They also have social workers. And then 211 will also give you information as well. If you're like in a domestic violence situation, you need some resources of how to get out. Safe Haven is another one that's for domestic violence survivors.
All right. Well, let's get into this book, Tears of a Shattered Heart. What made you write this book?
So I was told as a young girl that the things that I was going through, I was going to be helping other people later in life. And at the time that I was experiencing these things, in my mind, it's like, this is so horrible. This is literally hell. And I remember telling someone, yay, me. And they were like, no, seriously, you're going to be able to help somebody with your story. And I used to just say, yay, me. Like, why me? Why do I have to go through this?
Mhm.
And now I see and I understand, even though those things were horrible and I felt like I was going through hell, now I understand that when you go through things, you have to use your experience to help other people,
Mhm.
because so many people are living in silence because they are afraid of what family members may say. They're afraid of being judged by the church, outside the church. It's so many different reasons. And I no longer wanted to be silenced. I wanted to have a voice and to tell that young girl that may be experiencing self love issues. Maybe she feels that she's not loved, unworthy, not able to do things because somebody probably told her, you're not able to do this, you're not good enough. I want to be able to tell that young girl, that teenager, no matter how old, even if it's an older woman, I was told that I could never be able to have my own shop. I wasn't capable of running a beauty shop. There's so many different things that I was looked down on, that God helped me and allowed me, as long as I let him in and kept him first. He allowed certain things to come to pass for my life that I wanted.
Mhm.
So I just want to be able to be that voice, even for someone that lived in a home where there was abuse. And there were times and moments where I felt like, this is so hard and nobody should have to go through this. And I didn't understand why someone wants to be so mean.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And so see, I would see so much and it was hurtful. And I know that I'm not the only one. I know that I'm not the first, and I won't be the last to see something or some of the things that I did see. However, again, I will be that voice to tell the people that do go through it. And not just women, because young boys and older men go through different kinds of trauma and abuse too.
Mm.
Mhm.
I just want to be able to help our community. I want parents to understand that when you argue in front of your children, I want them to read my book and to see what it looks like, what your kid could possibly go through because they hear you arguing or because they see abuse in the home.
Mm.
I want mothers to understand that it's very important that you have those one-on-one conversations with your child. I want fathers to understand that it's very important that you show your child or your children love and not just by financial help. But hearing I love you and getting those hugs, it does so much for kids. It does so much for adults. Sometimes
Mm.
we could be going through things and we just need a hug.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Facts, facts,
for sure.
We
facts.
need to hear like, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna get through this. Imagine
Right.
what children feel when
Yeah,
they're going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Understand. So when people are in the home and they have their situations, it's important to go in the room and shut the door and talk about those things at a certain tone. Because when you get to raising your voice, when it gets physical, when names are being called, when you're being disrespected, it tears people down.
Mm-hmm.
It will tear the woman down, it will tear the man down, and it will tear the children down, and they will feel less than, and they will think that they can't do anything in life.
Right.
right. Yeah, I could tell. As a writer, as an author, as a motivational speaker, I could still sense the struggles a little bit. I know it could be a struggle trying to like write all this in a book or to use yourself in a motivational speaking way. Obviously, there are people who want to kind of explore becoming an author. Everybody has a story to tell, just like yourself. What were some kind of the obstacles in trying to write this in a book? Because obviously you have to kind of relive all these kind of traumas that can be obviously very hurtful and can still bring back a lot of pain mentally. What are the kind of steps that you took to write this book, like the processes of you getting to be able to complete this book?
When I was writing this book, when I first began to write this book, it was during COVID. And at the time, I just looked at it like, I'm writing this book and it's going to help so many other young girls, is how I was looking at it. And I actually had put the book down for a while. Started back writing the book again until this year. This time when I started writing the book, a lot of things that I suppressed started coming up. Things that I forgot about, things that I haven't thought about in years. I had to relive those things. And it was very hard. Excuse me. It was very hard. And at times, I was like, I don't want to write. I don't want to do this. Because nobody wants to relive their trauma. You want to heal and move
Mm-hmm.
forward, right?
Right.
And so there are times where I was sitting there and I would be writing and I would literally have to stop. And there were moments when I had tears because it's hurtful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we all know that we can't do this by ourselves. So I definitely had to pray through this journey of writing this book. Pray in general, but with writing this book, I prayed a lot because I wanted it to reach the right people. And even though I'm writing things from experience, I really want our people to look at their homes and see what it is they need to fix.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be my authentic self. I wanted to be able to be open. When you're silent for so long, it's hard to open up. I grew up in the church and I didn't want to be judged because of the words that I use. When I wrote my book, I wrote my book for a certain audience. And that's no disrespect to the church. Um, I'm not saying that the book is not for anybody that is in church, but I wrote my story, my book, just like any other book that you would write.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to have to hold back. I wanted it to be raw and uncut because I wanted the reader to visualize everything that they read in that book. I wanted them to feel the characters
Mm-hmm.
so that they can truly take in this information and learn, not just reading a book just to be reading it or reading it because they may know me. I
Mm-hmm.
want them to truly read the book, feel those characters, feel what they were going through, think about it, and see what it is within yourself or something within your family or somebody you may know that may be experiencing that situation that it could help. I thought a lot about if I use certain language, if I put sexual content in my book, that I was going to be judged, that I don't love God, that I'm out in the world. And then I had to think about it. Nobody can live your experience, right? The way you lived
Right.
it. Nobody can
Mm-hmm.
tell your story the way you tell your story. And it's just like when you go to the movies, right? Always the movies or certain music you listen to. I always say there's one particular person that writes movies, and I always say that person, people can't say that person doesn't love God because of the things that they put in their TV shows or movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertainment. But for me, it's not entertainment, but it's healthy material that
Mm-hmm.
can help you. Same thing for one of the singers. I always say that he wrote his songs, I believe, and I could be wrong, to reach people outside the church.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the regular, I'll say maybe old fashioned beat.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote his music to reach the people outside the church, to reach the youth that people can't seem to get in the church. So just
Mm-hmm.
person chose to write their songs that way or have the beat that way, that doesn't mean they don't have a love for God. That doesn't mean they don't have a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
Know my relationship with God. Nobody can tell you what your relationship is. So I had to just really just start trying to think in a positive way and just pray and ask God to let the right people read my book and read it and understand it and know where I was coming from. But I also asked him to remove the ones that was going to be judgmental, rude. I do know that everybody's not going to agree with everything that you do,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't agree with something, it's just like social media. Scroll up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
you
Yeah. For sure.
don't agree with someone talking about generational cycle, trauma, abuse, whatever it may be, don't watch it. Don't buy the book. You're not being forced.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
No, it's, but still, it's still a prominent thing in the black community, and we definitely need to all deal with, whatever generational cycles and traumas that we have in our lives, because we like to sweep everything under the rug. So
Absolutely.
to- totally agree with everything you're saying right now. Um, when and where can people purchase this book?
So the book will be available January 4th on Amazon.
Okay.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. So, congratulations on the book again.
Right, right.
Thank
It
you.
sounds very in depth. It sounds like a lot of people should read this book. It sounds like there's a lot of information, a lot of different things that people can probably definitely pull from this book. Especially just seeing the emotion that you just speak with. You know, you can feel the emotion coming from you as you
Hmm.
speak about this book. So you
Right.
could tell there's going to be a lot of passionate things that are written in this book. Um, so I'm very curious. 2024 is coming up. New year. I'm sure you have plenty of other projects, speaking engagements, and stuff like that. So, what can people look forward to you as far as like in the future?
So I will be having a speaking engagement in California the end of this month.
Mhm.
And I will also be on a radio show, Neffy, Neferteria, Keisha Cole's sister. I'll be on her radio show, From Reality to Radio.
Okay.
That radio show is in Atlanta, and that will be later this month as well.
Okay.
And podcasts, other podcast shows will be coming up soon. I did do an interview with the creator on TikTok as well,
Nice.
but I will be posting the events on my page pretty soon to let everybody know. And if anyone is looking for a motivational speaker, whether it's for a youth event, adult event, whatever event it may be that pertains to this, or to volunteer for Safe Haven or something in that nature, you can email me. My email is creativesoul.business.com, and we can put that on the,
We'll put it down in the description box for sure.
because creative is creative without the E. So it's CreativeSoul dot business at gmail.com. So you can email me.
Okay. What was the social? What was the social media for yourself? How can
Creative
people creative so? Okay. Okay.
without the E.
Um, is there anything else you want us to leave us with before we end the interview?
I just want to tell you thank you for giving me the opportunity to come onto your podcast,
No problem.
spread awareness, to talk about my book and my upcoming events. And I wish you a happy new year, and make sure you get those books out.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you. Hopefully, we definitely can have you on again.
yeah.
There's
Sure.
definitely a lot of different topics I would love to hear from you about, especially within the Black community. I
Hmm.
recently just was watching the Joe Budden podcast where he was talking to Dr. Umar and stuff like that. It was a lot of different, a lot of interesting conversations that they had. And I would definitely would love to bring me. I would love for to bring you back on and have certain conversations as far
Right.
as that realm. So hopefully we can get that
Of course.
going in the future for sure.
Most definitely. Well, Creative Soul, we wish you all the best with this book. You know what I'm saying? Hope much success. And we appreciate you coming on to the Crystal and Mall podcast.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Till next time, this interview will be dropping real soon. So be on the lookout. We out.